Hey everyone, What If Fan here, bringing you another exciting part of What If becoming a mangaka in One Piece world. You can find the fanfic title and the original author's name on my Patreon page. Make sure to check it out and show them some love. If you enjoy the video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring that notification bell so you never miss an upload. Quick update. The series What If Transmigrated into One Piece and became a marine will be going on hold soon, since we're nearly at the end of the story. So now, I need your help picking the next project for the channel. I'm currently deciding between these three fanfics. What if creating the strongest Strawhat crew by reading manga? What if a venerated soul reincarnated in Danmachi world? What if transmigrated and taking over Ichigo's body? Please vote in the poll and let me know which story you'd like to see next. I'll take the top pick and start working on that series next. Also check out my Patreon channel for early releases of all the series, where you can find all the series released one day ahead of YouTube. Alright, let's jump into it. Chapter 631, finally, Enlightenment. Invisible threads intertwine to form a complex web of events, unknown destinies, and undiscovered fates, embodied in a place called the Sorbet Kingdom in the South Blue. Such threads were already entwined in every island in this world, but to varying degrees. The Sorbet Kingdom was the largest and most prominent in the South Blue. In the East Blue, there was Dawn Island. In the North Blue, there was Flevance. In the first half of the Grand Line, the Alabasta Kingdom, which had transformed into a new Sky Island. And in the second half of the Grand Line, there was a small point at the end of the world. Only the Pirate King Roger and his crew had reached it in the last 800 years, Laughtail. But in the midst of this world, above the Red Line in the Holy Land, the largest complex network of threads in the entire world was forming. A few threads of it were woven and extended to a distant place in the far west. Interestingly, this place in the West Blue was a focal point for many threads across the pirate world. All these interwoven threads converged into a wealth of information that formed the essence of the world in the hands of a man. So, this is how it is. I believe I'm starting to understand the essence of the matter and the truth of what happened to me. In his personal room inside the art store in Ohara, Rob, who had returned from the New World, read chapter 1100 of the One Piece manga that was suddenly released. The system shop was the only link he had left from the real world. In the end, it turned out to be truly important, the only thing that could be real in this illusory world. The true story of Kuma is very impactful. It's challenging to anticipate its essence beyond some superficial aspects. Was I too naive? I created a completely different world from the original. Bonnie shouldn't exist at this time. So who is this Bonnie accompanying Kuma? What happened to Ginny? Where did she disappear before she was supposed to vanish? Rob took a deep breath. At this moment, he was in a strange state between enlightenment and confusion. But he was spared from noticing the threads of fate that connected him to another world above all existence. Rob took out the feather with which everything began. With this feather, he started drawing One Piece manga. It could be said that everything truly began with it. Should I continue or stop? As these thoughts crossed his mind, he felt a choking sensation, as if death was just a step away. The threads connecting him to the world above all existence started tearing one after another. The same happened to the threads whose end was between his fingers, they trembled and tore. At this moment, Rob felt he could end everything with just the thought of stopping everything. But the instinct to survive warned him like a seventh morning alarm to not stop immediately and regain control of the situation. I'll continue. After regaining his determination, the feeling of choking subsided, and the torn threads reconnected as if nothing had happened. Everything returned to normal. So, are you asking me to fill the gaps myself, or will I die when I can't continue? Now Rob finally knew how he would die if he truly stopped drawing manga and ceased to adhere to the conditions he set in the poll before coming here. Everything was already set from the beginning. He had linked his fate to the existence he called the Divine Network at that time. Even if he was immortal, stopping what had been set up would cancel the link, and he would cease to exist. With him, the world itself and everything in it would cease to exist. Author's note. This is what happens when a story is dropped. The world dies, along with the protagonist and everyone else in that world. So, Rob finally understood a little secret about his transition to this world. Everything he did in this world so far, every step, every breath, every emotion he created, every bond he formed, every event he influenced, was not a lie in the literal sense of the word, but truly real. At the same time, it all depended on him. Since he obtained the power of the mangaka and controlled a few threads of the world, he became almost a god with complete power in this world. Unfortunately, he was the weakest and most pitiful god among the gods. Rob finally realized that this world was shaped based on his consciousness. Characters like Bonnie appeared in existence because he believed they already existed, no more and no less. Initially, he was afraid of this realization, but after feeling the threat looming, he decided to finally accept and live with it. Outside, the world was going on as it pleased. The world was enjoying One Piece manga and the new volume. Here in Ohara, readers were laughing heartily at the predicament of the three, Luffy, Buggy, and the well-known Mr. 3. Chapter 529's Events. Level 2, The Floor of Demon Beasts. Bara Bara Cannon, exclaimed Buggy. Gomu Gomu Pistol. Luffy, 2. Candle Lock. And Mr. 3 too. At this moment, Buggy, Luffy, and Mr. 3 were fighting the monsters that were chasing them intensely. These damn monsters! They just keep coming, exclaimed Buggy. That giant centipede just exploded. Luffy's eyes widened. That thing's made up of smaller puzzle scorpions. They're super poisonous. Now that I think about it, I heard that the boss of the beasts in level 2 is supposed to look like a lion. Are these guys it? Asked Buggy. No. Those are manticores, man-eating lions with human faces, clarified Mr. 3. If they catch you, they'll even eat your bones. Level 2 guards. Manticore. The key? Give us the key. Buggy and Luffy were shocked to hear them speak like humans. Don't listen to them. They have human parts, so they can imitate human speech, clarified Mr. 3 once again. They remember what the prisoners say, but they have no idea what the words mean. That's creepy. Buggy was shocked. Fundoshi. Fundoshi. Strawberry panties, chanted the manticores who were chasing them. Where did they learn those stupid words? Exclaimed Buggy. Beef steal. Luffy responded instinctively upon hearing the word beef. Don't respond. Buggy slapped Luffy. Ha 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 ha. Ha 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 ha. That's funny. Adding Mr. 3 made things even more amusing. Ha ha ha. I look forward to more joining of funny and familiar faces. It'll be fun in the upcoming chapters. Ha ha ha. Looking forward to it. Ha ha ha. These manticores are really funny animals. I wonder where the government gets them. They are carnivorous beasts, man, otherwise how would they qualify to be demonic beasts on the second floor of Impel Down? Are you foolish? I don't want to meet such a monster. I don't have Luffy's strength after all. But you're right. Ha ha ha. It's funny how they can remember words, they're like parrots in that regard. What's up with Mr. 3? Ha ha ha. The moment he heard that Luffy wanted to go to the third floor, he escaped immediately. That's because he wanted to go to the first floor. Why does he have to go down? He and Buggy are the same, but unfortunately, since they met Luffy, they will be dragged down to the lower floors one way or another. Ha ha ha. That's the most amusing thing for me. The readers in Ohara were thoroughly enjoying the current scenario, the humorous progression of events, which deviated a little from the seemingly hopeless and sad situation concerning Ace. Chapter 632, Falling Toward the Third Floor. Chapter 529's Events. After running to the end of the second floor, Luffy and the others were forced to stop in their tracks by a massive lion-like creature blocking their way. Level 2 Guardian Sphinx, human-faced, feathered lion. What a thing to run into, Buggy almost cried at his misfortune. A lion, no. A man? Luffy was confused about what this creature was. It's the guardian of the stairs, the Sphinx. Galdino almost screamed. Vuoruru. So men. So men. The three wondered what this talking lion meant. Ramen. Vuoruru. To men. Yakisoba. The rigid Sphinx began to chase them while chanting strange names. It can only say the names of noodles. The three shouted before running with all their might. Amen, said Sphinx. It prayed. Buggy's eyes widened as they ran. Sphinx extended its massive claw and tore toward the three, who were sent flying in different directions. You whoa! This guy is bad news, exclaimed Buggy. The prisoners swallowed their saliva upon hearing Sphinx's roar, while the released prisoners wished to return to their cells at that moment. The Sphinx is going wild. Someplace far away. Man! I knew we couldn't escape. Damn it! What power, said Luffy, then turned to both Buggy and Mr. 3, HM. Hey, what are you guys doing? Mr. 3 and Buggy were found shaking hands as if they had made a certain decision. All right. We're forming the Jailbreak Alliance. Buggy asterisk. I'm glad there's someone else serious about escaping. Mr. 3 asterisk. Now let's put the Make Strawhat into bait plan in action. That's how they thought until they saw Luffy fiercely attacking Sphinx's head. Gomu Gomu. Bazooka. Vurarura. Asterisk Sphinx roared in pain. Why are you pissing him off? Mr. 3 was about to faint. Buggy left his 2 feet on the ground and flew high. This is bad. Ha! That's not fair, you two can get so high up. Mr. 3 seemed to have become the target of Sphinx's anger, which extended its claw to crush him. Wah! Yah! Sphinx crushed Mr. 3 into small pieces under its claw, revealing that he was just a solid wax. Fa ha 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 ha. Fooled ya, you simple beast. That was just a wax man, made with my Daru powers. Mr. 3 mocked Sphinx, which started rampaging and hitting the waxmen appearing here and there. The ground began to shake as a result, eventually destroying the ceiling, and Sphinx, along with Luffy, Buggy, and Mr. 3, fell to the 3rd floor. Gaia! You stupid beast! It broke the floor itself. This is level 3. There's a giant monster falling from the ceiling. On the 3rd floor, the guards froze in shock. Luffy shouted. Oh no! Mr. 3 found himself falling downwards as well. We're falling to level 3. Buggy cried unwillingly. Ha 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 ha. Ka ha 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 ha. Oh my god. I can't laugh anymore. I'm going to die. Put. Wahahaha. This is the fate of those who plan against the protagonist. In the end, you will all follow him to the lower floor. Mr. 3 thinks he's smart, but in reality, he's the dumbest of the 3. Ha ha ha. Ha ha ha. That's true. He's the one who made Sphinx go berserk in the first place. What a fool. Ha ha ha. On a certain island in the South Blue, readers were laughing heartily at the current events. The way the 3 fell to the 3rd floor was truly astonishing. The commotion caused by Luffy was no longer something that could be overlooked, of course. This was expected from Luffy, Buggy, and Mr. 3, who were complete fools. In a specific corner of this art store in the South Blue, a certain boy wearing glasses reading the manga blushed, almost fainting from embarrassment. Almost no one knew that the 15-year-old boy was actually Mr. 3, Galdino, because he didn't wear the hairstyle with the number 3, or they would have surely recognized him. Is this really my counterpart in the manga? I'll die of embarrassment. If he hadn't eaten the wax fruit at this time, he would have thought he was someone else and not his counterpart. In fact, since the Alabasta arc, he had this doubt. What if he and Mr. 3 weren't the same person? After being influenced by One Piece manga and his great love for the main characters, he wanted his manga counterpart to be more welcoming to help Luffy. The thing he would be most proud of was to see Mr. 3 succeed in helping Luffy and Ace. Unfortunately, I am too weak. No, he is weak, and I am not him. Young Galdino thought internally. After that, he moved on to the next chapter of the manga. This was his homeland, the cold island where the kingdom of Rashwan is located. Marineford. The overall mood at the main marine base was truly heavy, especially inside the office of the fleet admiral. What the hell is this nonsense? Why isn't there enough guard on the demonic monsters? Is this what Impel Down means? Why does it seem so loose? The second floor was destroyed by just 3 troublemakers. Sakazuki was about to explode in a fit of anger at this moment. He did not expect that Impel Down would be this weak in reality. It seems that Impel Down needs major adjustments in reality, sighed Sengoku. Magellan is not competent in reality, said Kazara without annoyance. Not only Magellan, but every official there. Where is Shiryu? I haven't seen him anywhere. Zephyr wondered. Maybe he will show up on one of the lower floors. Anyway, let's reserve judgment for the end. The volume is still at the beginning, we'll see what we can do after finishing reading it completely. Under your command, Fleet Admiral. It seems that the St. Warcury went to Impel Down. The government must be more aware of the situation at Impel Down than we are, said Sengoku. Chapter 633, Monkey D. Luffy and Portgas D. Ace are brothers. Chapter 530, From Hell to Hell. Monitor Room. We've arrived at the scene on level 2. Can you see anything? What the hell happened here? This hole is definitely big enough for the Sphinx to have fallen through. What is Straw Hat Luffy trying to do? The guards stood in awe in front of the massive hole from which Luffy and the others fell to the next floor. After that, the prisoners who were released surrounded the 4 guards who came to assess the situation. Impel Down Monitor Room. Hey, look! This is bad. The prisoners on level 2 have gotten out of their cells. How did they open the locks? Is this Straw Hat's doing, too? The guards are in danger. The guards in the monitor room immediately noticed the severity of the current situation. Returning to level 2, the prisoners threw off their shackles while rushing toward the guards to make them taste the torment they had endured. Our respect and gratitude go to Captain Buggy. He's our savior. This is level 2. Send reinforcements immediately. The prisoners are rioting. The guards sank into despair at that moment. Send the Bugori to level 2. One of the guards in the monitor room suggested immediately. Hey! I know what Straw Hat Luffy is after. Before they could react, one of the guards responsible for communicating with the fleet admiral of the headquarters shouted. You know. How? Asked one of the guards. Fleet Admiral Sengoku from headquarters said that there's no doubt about it. The intruder, Monkey D. Luffy, and the man we're holding under maximum security until his execution, Portgas D. Ace, are brothers. Hearing that, the guards felt a deep sense of shock. So he's trying to break Fire Fist Ace out of prison before the public execution. Right. There's no mistake. That's why he's actually descending from hell to hell. We've been preoccupied with a possible attack from Whitebeard. If he were to actually pull this off, the situation would be completely reversed. Quickly, inform Chief Warden Magellan. And pacify the rioters on level 2. The guards felt that things had become more than they could handle, so Chief Warden Magellan had to intervene immediately. Meanwhile in Marineford. Finally, there is some improvement. Sighed Sengoku after witnessing the collective effort of the guards. He felt no discomfort seeing the prisoners attacking the 4 poor guards, they were just a small sacrifice. The blame does not fall on the ordinary guards, they are doing their job perfectly. Since the beginning, they have already noticed it and have taken all necessary measures to stop it, Saru spoke softly, expressing her thoughts at the moment. They even contacted Magellan at the beginning, but because he was enchanted by Hancock, he did nothing, didn't even answer the call, added Zephyr. Boa Hancock. What a terrifying woman. She reminds me of the Golden Crow Belmere of the Hunters Guild. Kazara shuddered, recalling his battles with Belmere. Strawhat Luffy managed to reach the third floor so easily. What the hell is happening? Seeing how smoothly Luffy reached the third floor greatly disturbed Akainu. Little did he know that he would be even more disturbed in the upcoming chapters, to the point of exploding repeatedly. Only the end of all this would satisfy him. I see that the headquarters has already received news of Straw Hat Luffy's infiltration of Impel Down, isn't that right? Akiji said. That's true, otherwise, how do you explain an ordinary guard knowing the truth that Luffy and Ace are brothers? That's logical. Anyway, let's continue reading. I hope Magellan or Shiryu intervenes soon. Luffy won't stand a chance if one of them appears in his way. I don't bet on Magellan, despite his strength, he is very unreliable. Impel Down. Even Sphinx was dropped in this foolish way. Magellan closed his eyes, silently contemplating his actions in the manga. Even he saw how inefficient his actions were. Extremely embarrassing. I hope the situation improves further in the upcoming chapters. My counterpart just needs to know about the situation earlier. Magellan sighed and flipped through the manga pages. Since the appearance of Saint Warcury and his takeover, Magellan had not dared to move an inch from his place. He couldn't even go to the bathroom for relaxation. Why did I have to eat that poisonous soup for breakfast today, of all days? Oh, but I eat it every day. What's this? At that moment, both Magellan and Shiryu, and even Hannibal were surprised to see Saint Warcury return with a familiar young man walking behind him. Blackbeard, Marshal D. Teach. Saint Warcury stopped in his place and gave deep looks to both Magellan and Shiryu before speaking. Prisoner Marshal D. Teach has been released by the Supreme Court of the World Government. The prison officials looked at each other before nodding unanimously, understood. Zay haha. Teach released an evil laugh, looking at Shiryu, who had almost killed him on several occasions, for no reason, just because he found it fun to beat the main antagonist in the manga. Shiryu felt a bad vibe from Teach but showed a cruel smile on his face instead. If Saint Warcury wasn't here, he would have wanted to experience dismembering a prisoner who received his freedom. It would surely be a good feeling. Now, it's time to review the changes that will occur in this prison from now on, Saint Warcury said with a cold tone, ignoring the guards' responses. Far in the new world, deep within the central prison, completely different from the hell called Impel Down. Inside a cozy cell, with a soft bed and most of the basic requirements for a decent life, the Golden Lion opened his eyes with a spark of logic inside. Jahahaha, is this how it is? Interesting, to be mentioned again in the manga after this long absence. It seems the world will remember me again. I am the Golden Lion, Shiki. Jahahaha. On the side, Gecko Moria shivered upon hearing the madman's laughter. Get me out of here, please. That was Moria's only wish. He was willing to become Rob's slave to share the cell with the mad Golden Lion. Chapter 634, Pirate? That's not a bad option. In the meantime, Roger stood gazing at the horizon, and an enormous shadow emerged behind the mist. Gradually, its features became clearer. It was a colossal and awe-inspiring creature walking in the sea, passing by the island where the Pirate King's crew currently rested. It was a massive elephant, known to Roger's crew as Zunisha. Can anyone hear me? Someone. An old voice echoed, reaching the ears of both Roger and Rouge. Can anyone hear me? Someone. The voice resonated again. In the ears of Shanks, Buggy, and others, it was just powerful roars from a massive elephant. However, for Roger and Rouge, who could hear the voice of all things, the words were clear. Roger smiled before saying, Wahaha. Zunisha, isn't that right? I hear you, can you hear me? Shanks and Buggy, puzzled, turned their attention to him. They couldn't understand why their captain suddenly spoke to the gigantic elephant carrying the island. The rest of the crew, familiar with the world's history, including Zunisha, just smiled. They were not confused. Finally, someone can hear me. Are you that man again? No matter, I need your help. As you know, it's impossible to communicate with people on my back. They enjoy One Piece manga, but I can't. Do you understand my sadness? I was once a... The old voice suddenly stopped, leaving Roger bewildered. The same for Rouge, who listened attentively without speaking. Roger's face showed understanding, and he smiled before laughing. Wahahaha. So, in conclusion, you want to read the manga too? That's right. I heard that Luffy is extremely funny, so I remembered memories from the past. I want to know more about the boy called Luffy. If you can help me talk to the leader of the kingdom on my back and make him send someone to bring me the manga near my eyes, I'll be grateful to you. Alright, I'll gladly do that. Roger agreed, making Zunisha extremely happy. From that moment on, Zunisha started reading the One Piece manga. In Marineford again, all eyes were on Sengoku with a strange expression. As for Sengoku, he was looking at the manga page with trembling eyes. That bastard Garp, even in manga. He drives me crazy. Chapter 530's Events. Grand Line, Marine Headquarters. Foahahaha. The main building of the Marineford appeared, resembling the Japanese design of buildings. Garp's loud laughter could be heard from outside. What do you find funny about this, Garp? In the midst of this situation that will shake all the seas of the world. That idiot goes and actually makes it worse. Fleet Admiral Sengoku, adorned in a uniform filled with medals, yelled at Garp and angrily slapped his desk. He couldn't find a better way to vent his anger. Wahahaha. Meanwhile, Garp continued to laugh, munching on his rice crackers as if the matter didn't concern him at all. First Eni's lobby, and then the Tenryubito incident. This is all completely unprecedented. Sengoku hadn't forgotten the incidents caused by Luffy before this. Suddenly, he began to speak of the indestructible history of Impel Down, 20 years ago. We failed when the flying pirate Golden Lion escaped. But these past 20 years, of the hundreds of thousands of prisoners held there, not a single one has successfully escaped. And nobody in the history of the prison has successfully infiltrated it either. The iron walls of the great prison Impel Down have held. Suddenly, Sengoku's expression changed, and he shouted at Garp. And the man spitting on that good name, the first intruder ever, is your grandson again, Garp. Garp pointed his thumb at Luffy in his mind and laughed heartily. He's done it again. That's my grandson for ya. Sengoku turned angrily and cursed at another person. Damn you, Bartholomew Kuma. You said that you finished off the Strawhat pirates at Sabaody Archipelago. I should have known. You can't trust what a Shichibukai says. But how did he get through our perimeter? Sengoku seriously wondered about this matter. After that, he turned towards Garp again and grabbed him by the collar. If you weren't the hero of the Marines, I'd have you take responsibility for your entire family, Garp. Wah-aha! I think this situation has gotten a bit too big for an old man's life to atone for it. Boah-ha-ha-ha! Garp continued to laugh heartily. Ugh! Oh my god, why does this bastard make me so angry to this extent even in the manga? Ha ha ha! As expected from Garp-san, he's an incredibly lively old man, commented Kuzan with a slight laugh at the amusing scene of his teacher. He acts as if he doesn't care. How disgusting. This man doesn't deserve the title of Marine's hero. Sakazuki was extremely annoyed by Garp, who had separated from the Navy and chosen to become a revolutionary like his son. Enough nonsense, Sakazuki. Garp is a true hero. It's not allowed for you to speak such nonsense about him. Even if he retired from being a soldier, Garp is still the Marine's hero and will always remain so. Zephyr seemed genuinely angry at Sakazuki's attitude towards Garp and always being the first to insult him. Zofu. Stop, said Sengoku. Zephyr looked shocked at Sengoku, who halted him from reprimanding Sakazuki. It seemed that Sengoku didn't notice Zephyr's shocked glances or ignored them before saying, "Don't forget that Garp joined the Revolutionary Army, he's an enemy of the Navy now. We might have to fight him in the future." The Revolutionary Army doesn't hide its clear bias towards the Hunters' side. They fully support them to replace the world government and us as well. This means they reject our existence, and their existence was founded to ultimately revolt against us. So please remember which side you're on." Hearing that, Saru sighed in silence. She couldn't help her heart from trembling, recalling memories of youth when they were still trainees in the Navy. Now it seemed that everyone followed justice in their hearts. In the core of her heart, she was happy for Garp, but saddened by her situation, Sengoku, and even Zifu. Sorbet Kingdom. Wahahaha. That's hilarious. Garp was enjoying his rice crackers just like his counterpart and laughing heartily at the interaction between him and Sengoku. My annoying grandson will give Sengoku a heart attack, Wahahaha. I'm sorry, my old friend. How can I control the actions of a foolish boy like Luffy? Wahahaha. He's the protagonist after all. Ha ha ha. It was my dream for him to become a Navy admiral. But as you can see, well, my dream is not worth even a pinch for a troublemaker and a freedom seeker like him. As if I'll allow my son to become a soldier in the Navy as you wish, old man. Dragon appeared visibly annoyed. A pirate? That option isn't bad either. Chapter 635, Level 3, Starvation Hell. Chapter 530's Events. Impel Down, Level 3. Hot. I'm sizzling. Buggy leaped from the scorching heat of the blistering sands. Luffy felt the same way, hot. Hot, hot. The ground is like a frying pan. It sure is hot. And it's eerily quiet. Luffy sweated profusely in this heat. Level 3. What a place I've come to. Strawhat, you dragged me down with you again. Buggy exclaimed with disdain. Ah, the lion's out. Luffy noticed the absent Sphinx next to them. This place is really bad. For me with my wax powers, Galdino seemed to be melting at that moment. Look inside the cells. Luffy and Buggy looked toward the cells as Mr. 3 pointed, seeing prisoners drained of blood. They barely even have shadows left, but everyone here on Level 3 was once a notorious criminal with a bounty over 50 million. Mr. 3 explained. Heat from the floor below us, the burning hell, rises, and the prisoners are tortured by the lack of water and food. They're quickly reduced to the half-dead things you see before you. This is Level 3, the starvation hell. If we waste any time here, we'll become like them in a heartbeat. Hearing Mr. 3's explanation while seeing a skeletal structure of a hanging prisoner made Buggy sweat even more. We need to get out of here, while we can still sweat. Added Mr. 3. Upon hearing that, Luffy, who was eating grilled bird meat, nodded and said, then let's hurry to Level 4. Hell no, exclaimed Buggy and Mr. 3 angrily. Come on, lead the way. You both said you'd help me save Ace. Luffy said anxiously. I never said that. Not at all, said Mr. 3. Does happiness change your memories or something? Luffy still believed they wanted to help him. What do you mean? Mr. 3 didn't understand, as he was not the one who tricked Luffy in the deal, but Buggy. They are in position, pull the net. Roger. At that moment, Luffy and the other two were unaware of the trap set by the prison guards. Fine, I'll go by myself. When Luffy decided to leave on his own, the sands beneath them shook, and they were caught in a massive net. Oh what? Damn. It's a trap. They got us. Wano country. So, this is how Impel Down looks from the inside. Starvation hell? What a terrifying place. Harsh conditions that even pirates with a bounty of less than 100 million can't endure for long. Sigh. These prisoners will eventually die, no matter how hard they struggle or endure the pain of hunger and the intense heat. Marco sighed as he saw the shapes of the prisoners inside the cells. These are the consequences of weakness, choosing the wrong path without realizing your own profound weakness to bear your sins. That's what you deserve, Whitebeard said indifferently towards the prisoners. The world government won't spare the pirates who fall into their hands. This law hasn't changed since they took control. They are well aware of the risks pirates pose to them and the world. It seems that the so-called Great Pirate Era had more serious effects than the manga has shown so far. And my Wano country, far removed from all this chaos. Odin said. You're talking about Wano in the manga world, right? Whitebeard asked. Yes, in my belief, Wano is a closed country in the manga, separated from the world. As long as there's someone like you in this land, maybe Wano won't be affected by the waves of the Great Pirate Era. Whitebeard smiled confidently. Hearing the explicit praise, both Odin and the present Akazaya smiled as well. In this world, there's a false confidence that stems from an individual's strength. When someone is so powerful that they trust themselves and those around them blindly in their strength, they may eventually become the most vulnerable point, a deadly weakness. That's exactly what happened to Odin and his followers. One day, the manga will shock them with the harsh reality, and that day will be the day they rid themselves of this weakness. In the depths of the seas, on Fishman Island. What a hell, just imagining myself trapped there makes me feel suffocated. Little Frankie shivered while reading the manga. In his worst nightmares, he never imagined such a hell. Now his impression of Impel Down has completely changed. It wasn't just him. Rather, every person in the world truly saw what Impel Down meant. Ta ha ha. After seeing the fate of pirates, do you still want to become one? Tom asked Frankie. Tom wanted to know what was really going on in his little apprentice's mind. On the side, Iceberg smiled upon hearing that, and even the beautiful mermaid Kokoro smiled silently. Of course, I'll become a pirate. No. I'll become a member of the Pirate King's crew. Not just an ordinary pirate, exclaimed Frankie. The fear of being captured will never make me change my decision. So whooper. Ta ha ha ha. Tom laughed after hearing Frankie's expected response. Well, if there are still pirates in the future, it's okay for you to pursue your dream. At this moment, Jimbei approached Frankie's group. You're the famous boy, Frankie, Luffy Kuen's friend in the future. Do you want to follow your future path? Frankie and Jimbei's eyes met at that moment, and both felt a strange kinship. That's right, Jimbei-san. I'll gladly follow my future path if it allows me to meet Luffy and the others. Ohara. The starvation hell? Suddenly, Daffy remembered the hunger he felt when they left Marigoat and descended into the human world. At that short time, they truly experienced what hunger meant. If it weren't for Rob arriving at a crucial time, half of his family would have truly died from hunger, and the people's hatred towards them. Is there a hell scarier than being a celestial dragon? Daffy asked a question that made the people around him look at him in astonishment. Seeing this, Doflamingo shook his head as if he didn't expect any answer from these people. Suddenly, Doflamingo heard familiar footsteps, and an elegant man arrived with his hands in his pockets. Of course, there's a hell more terrible than being a celestial dragon, Rob said with a smile. Welcome back, teacher. Both Daffy and Rosinante greeted Rob with respect. Even Isho and Mihawk greeted him respectfully. Vegapunk, Brook, Saul, Clover, Homing nodded gently to Rob. Rob put his hand on Daffy's shoulder, who had recently become taller. It seemed like he would catch up with him in height soon. The real hell is when we lose the ability to perceive ourselves. As long as you feel pain, it's not a real hell, Rob said calmly. These words left a deep impression on Daffy, who was a character with great self-awareness. Chapter 636, The Shocking Change. Chapter 530's Events. It's a steel net. Luffy tried to bite the net to break free but felt its toughness. Damn it! It's got Kairoseki in it too. Buggy couldn't help but curse his bad luck at this moment. There's some horrible torture waiting for us to try to escape. We're done for it. Meanwhile, Mr. 3 was anxious about his fate after being captured again. The intruder Strawhat Luffy and the other two have been captured. Put the Kairoseki handcuffs on them. Roger. Luffy and the others noticed they were already surrounded, but Buggy hesitated to surrender. Is that all we are? Shit. Open this net. On the contrary, Mr. 3 fully surrendered to his fate. Give it up, Buggy. We're already caught, the guards, and the Blueberry are here. Damn it. Damn it. Luffy, however, didn't know how to give up and continued trying to tear the steel net with his teeth. "HM? Who are you?" Suddenly, a very short guy with a trident caught his attention. "I am Seldef," the guy answered calmly. "Really? You don't look like a monkey." Luffy seemed genuinely surprised. "No. You misunderstood. I am Seldef." "Really?" "No. Accept your fate. Resistance is futile." In this isolated sea-floor prison, there was never anywhere to escape to. "Just be glad that I was the one to catch you." Headguard Seldef, Blueberry Commander. The short young man wore a hat with the symbol of skull, representing a blueberry mask. The hat also had devil horn-like protrusions, and he had bat-like wings. Both the horns and wings were clearly faked to make the guards look like devils in hell. After all, the 4 beast guards are lurking below this floor. That's true. I'd hate to run into them, or the chief warden. Both Buggy and Mr. 3 thought with evident fear on their faces. At this moment, Sphinx, trapped in the net as well, woke up and began to rage. "Ah, head guard." The Sphinx woke up. "This is bad. He might break the net. We can't let those 3 escape, especially not Strawhat Luffy." Unfortunately, exactly what they feared happened as Sphinx's rage tore the trap apart, allowing Luffy and the others to escape. Impel down. TSK, this is bad. It's really hard to catch the protagonist even when he's in your hands. Saint Warcury sarcastically commented on Luffy's escape from the net. This boy named Seldef, who works as the Blueberry Unit Commander, is interesting. He must be very young to be alive now, isn't he? Hearing Saint Warcury's inquiry, Magellan, Shiryu, and Hannibal all nodded quickly. That's true, Saint Warcury. He's very young. Maybe only 15 or 16 years old. Hannibal said. To be a unit commander at such a young age means he's very talented, isn't it? Perhaps more talented than the 3 of you combined. The expressions on Magellan, Shiryu, and Hannibal's faces froze after hearing their boss's mockery, but they dared not challenge him. Zihahaha. What a wonderful feeling to have high authority. No one will dare to respond even if you mock them. Teach felt a strong longing for authority at this moment. He wanted to have the same authority as the Gorosei or even more. If you want that, you can become stronger and naturally acquire it. Saint Warcury turned to look at Teach. From this look and the words, it seemed that the deal between them was much deeper than just releasing him from prison in exchange for a service or something specific. Zihahaha, if it's as you told me, then I must not disappoint your expectations, especially the expectations of that person above you. It's better for you not to. Saint Warcury growled and then pulled out a purple-colored devil fruit. This. When Teach saw it, he almost lost balance from the shock. Then Saint Warcury smoothly threw it towards Teach, who didn't hesitate to catch it. From now on, Marshal D. Teach will be the new chief warden for Impel Down and the 3 of you will be his assistants. This is the significant change that would happen in this prison. As for other changes, we'll see about them after the arc is over. Hearing that shocked both Magellan and Hannibal. As for Shiryu, he seemed indifferent, but internally, he was on the verge of exploding with anger and hatred. But they dared not challenge the Gorosei's authority, who was the warrior god of justice, responsible for everything related to the court and the prison's military forces. If he said that Marshal D. Teach would become the new chief warden, then it meant it happened, and there was no room for change. Who would have expected that a mere apprentice on Whitebeard's ship would have the opportunity to become the highest commander of Impel Down after being just a lowly prisoner? Hannibal was about to die of envy as he thought about it. As for Teach, he didn't care about the position at that moment. The purple devil fruit had completely captured his attention. Obtaining this fruit was the reason he boarded Whitebeard's ship in the first place. His background was something he alone knew, and he wasn't eager to reveal it before obtaining this devil fruit. Even he was confident that One Piece manga wouldn't quickly reveal his background. Not until he became a powerful force in the sea and succeeded in executing his evil plans, became a formidable enemy to the Straw Hat Luffy. As he saw it now, he hadn't become that person yet. So, he wasn't afraid that the One Piece manga would interfere with all his plans. He still hoped to obtain the dark fruit somehow and continue to climb the path of power. But what he didn't take into account was that the world government would present him with this fruit on a silver platter. Just like that. You're not joking with me, right? This is the dark fruit? Teach asked hesitantly. Since he was forcefully fed the trash devil fruit, he had only one chance left to eat the devil fruit he wanted. If it turned out that this wasn't the dark fruit, everything for him would end before it even began. And this was extremely terrifying for him, even when he knew it was indeed the real devil fruit from the appearance and color he saw in the devil fruits book. But he didn't dare to eat it without confirmation. We don't joke with our allies. When the Gorosei said that, Teach almost vomited from the intense feeling of disgust. If it weren't for the One Piece manga in this world, he would have truly believed him. It's the real dark fruit. We've been secretly looking for it since we knew from the manga that you were searching for it. All this for you to join our ranks, or else we won't spare any effort to obtain it, despite its strong power. It remains just a devil fruit after all. Most of the strongest devil fruits are already in our hands. Just eat it, and instantly become the infamous, notorious figure in the manga, Teach. The world government needs you on our side. This time, Teach didn't hesitate to eat the devil fruit. After that, a loud, sinister laugh was heard from Impel Down. Ohara. In Rob's eyes, an unprecedented anomaly occurred in the threads of fate at this moment. In the far west, somewhere in the Grand Line, something had definitely happened. A significant change in the plot has occurred. I wonder what it is. Rob felt interested to know what had happened. Well, I'll find out later anyway. Such a huge change cannot escape my sight after all. Rob smiled as he stroked his silver-haired wife. Alvia didn't notice the strange gleam in her husband's eyes because she was immersed in pure bliss, like a cat being petted on its belly. This boy named Seldeth looks very young. Does the world government also employ children? Oh, they are scum, training children in the flower of their age to become assassins or official employees. This young boy is no different. Rob answered calmly. Ha ha. Luffy is really lucky, they can't easily catch him, laughed Alvia. That's true, keep reading. The upcoming events are more thrilling. Chapter 637, Mr. 2 appears. Oh my god, Buggy and Mr. 3 are extremely provocative. They escaped in this manner, leaving Luffy to fight alone. Alvia was very angry with both of them. Ha ha. Did you really think Buggy would help Luffy? Rob couldn't help but laugh. What an evil kid, he really needs rehabilitation. He's truly a reckless boy, he'll be even more reckless in the future, at least until he collides with two steel plates. Rob pointed to the future when Buggy becomes a symbolic Yonko at least. No one knows that Buggy's interesting journey will begin here, from Impel Down. His ironically fortunate journey has already begun. Are you saying Buggy is lucky? Alvia asked in confusion. Ha ha ha. He's not just lucky, he's extremely lucky, laughed Rob. Oh. Is that Bonchan? Chapter 530's events. Ha. TH. This is probably far enough. Good, they're all going after Straw Hat. Buggy felt relieved as he saw the Bluggeries unit and their commander chasing after Luffy and ignoring them. The stairs going up are blocked off too. Just being here is torture enough. As for Mr. 3, he wanted to leave this hot place as quickly as possible. Suddenly, they started hearing an annoying singing. HM? What's with the singing? Buggy wondered. Mr. 3 recognized something familiar from the sound and the song suddenly, shocked. Awesome! Awesome! Okama away. At that moment, inside a specific cell in level 3, another familiar face appeared. It was another Baroque Works agent, Mr. 2. He was dancing to the tunes of the Okama song he was singing, while dancing with the prisoners who seemed zombie-like. Well done. Spin, 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 just like this dizzying time. Gah ha ha ha. Don't lie down, you guys. Come on, this heat won't be enough to make me suffer. Oh. Is that Mr. 3? Gah ha ha ha. At this moment, both Mr. 3 and Buggy arrived in front of Mr. 2's cell, who was still dancing and singing. So it really was you, said Mr. 3. Wah-ah. Mr. 3. Mr. 2's eyes almost popped out of their sockets from the shock when he finally realized he wasn't hallucinating. Wait, why are you out there? You're on the other side of the bars, so you caught. No, wait, I'm the one who's in prison. I'm so surprised that I need to look again. Okama Kenpo, I dream of that night once again. Can we please leave him in his cell, suggested Mr. 3. Buggy was the most confused here. Hey! Just what am I looking at here? Sorbet Kingdom. Oh, this poor Okama is suffering in this hot hell too. I wish they would free him from prison as well. All Okamas deserve freedom. Look at how dedicated he is to making everyone happy, singing and dancing despite the suffocating heat. It's truly moving. Ivankov wiped away tears while reading the manga. He seemed highly impressed by Mr. 2's pure spirit. He still remembered how Mr. 2 sacrificed himself and helped Luffy escape from the Navy's siege in Alabasta. Oh my god, what is this crap? I see he's torturing the already tortured prisoners. What's wrong with my future counterpart's mind to recruit an Okama as an officer agent into his organization? Due to Ivankov and his constant torture, Crocodile came to hate all Okamas in the world because of Ivankov. He was deeply saddened by Sanji's fate, understanding Sanji's feelings on that island the most. You're too harsh, Crocoboy. Bonchan is a wonderful guy. Oh, he's the guy with the power to transform into anyone he touches. Wasn't he the one who transformed into Nami at that time? Little Bonnie refreshed her memories this way. That's right. I hope he helps Luffy again, his ability is very useful in deception, Dragon said calmly. It's very difficult for Luffy to escape from prison at this stage, let alone to rescue Ace and escape with him, but I trust my grandson, he will surely do something shocking. Boahaha. Sengoku, drink the exciting nerve and fever medicine so you don't die of anger. Wahahaha. Garp laughed heartily. Chapter 531, Level 3, Starvation Hell. We're on the highest alert level here. When did he slip past us? He's just one man. But if anything were to happen to Ace, not just Impel Down, but the entire world government would become the laughingstocks of the world. At this moment, the Vice Admiral unsheathed his sword, ready to enter Impel Down with his soldiers to apprehend the infiltrator, Monkey D. Luffy. We will enter the prison and, in the name of the Marines, capture Strawhat Luffy. Yes, sir. But at that moment, a seductive woman, resembling a succubus, blocked their way. She wore revealing and entirely pink clothing, with thick orange hair covering even her eyes. Wait right there, said the seductive woman in a tempting tone. Who are you? Asked the Vice Admiral. I'm Sudi-chan, a girl who loves torture, she said. Accepting help from the Marines on top of the infiltration will only add to Impel Down's humiliation. Impel Down Chief Guard Sudi-chan. You're referring to yourself as Chan. Are you kidding? Wondered a Navy soldier. Silence. You have to call me Sudi-chan. But the soldier was shocked by being whipped with her long whip, his scream preceded. You wah. Whiteheart, I can't get enough of those screams. She seemed to savor the screams of the people she tortured. Well, she was completely insane. Marine Ford. Who is this woman, for heaven's sake? Is she really the chief guard? She whipped that soldier just for questioning why she calls herself a pet name? She even enjoyed his screams, that's madness. Sengoku felt a shiver of madness from this woman. Women of the next generation don't know the meaning of modesty. Put on some clothes, woman. Tsuru felt embarrassed by Sudi's revealing attire. All the Impel Down guards are eccentric. Zephyr remarked in surprise. That's natural, as they live in the prison, there's no room for a normal life in a hellish prison with criminal inmates, explained Sengoku. Also, the world government likes to employ human devils in Impel Down. After all, Impel Down was created based on hell as a template. That's understandable, but it's too audacious. These bastards don't respect Marine soldiers. Sakazuki was angry to see Marine soldiers being humiliated by a woman. Well, she's human after all, with desires. No matter how deviant they may be, they represent her character. She doesn't represent all of Impel Down with her actions. Also, her prevention of soldiers entering is quite logical. They ensure the only exit from Impel Down is more effective at keeping them out. As she said, they are ignorant of its internal design for sure, Sengoku said calmly. Aurora, that, too, will be a thing of the past. Now, we explore the depths of Impel Down with Luffy little by little. Kuzan pointed out an important point, souring Sengoku's mood. Damn it! One Piece manga will never spare us. Chapter 638. Ace discovers Luffy's arrival. Chapter 531's events. Floor where Ace is being held. It's Hannibal. Magellan is here too. What's happening? As some fearful prisoners observe the arrival of the prison wardens, it appears that the inmates in the location where Ace is held are undoubtedly strong. We've got a special visitor for you. Ace. Who do you think it is? Jinbei, you've never met her face to face, so you won't recognize her. Hannibal stood in front of the cell where Ace and Jinbei were located. Her name is widely known, though she doesn't show herself. The Empress of the warrior race, the Kuja. One of the royal Shichibukai. Hannibal continued his ridiculous presentation, strong and sublime, the world's most beautiful woman. The Pirate Empress. Boa Hancock herself. Hayo Hayu. While detonating fireworks, Magellan harshly hit his head. Ouch. I want to be the chief warden really bad. Ah, no, wait, what I meant to say was, that really hurt. What are you doing? Said Magellan, angrily. Jinbei. Ace. Crocodile. You woo. It's true. I thought I smelled a good woman here. That's Hebeheim of the Kuja. Oh, look over here. Hancock. White Heart. Look at that, she's so sexy. Come on, lady. Won't you come into my cell? I'll treat you right. Jaya ha 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 ha. Ah, she smells amazing. I want to go to the Isle of Women. Nothing but women. You think they just go naked all the time? The prisoners seemed to lose their minds when they saw Hancock. What do you want from me? Ace didn't care about the inmates' antics, he focused his gaze on Hancock and asked calmly. Nothing. I just wanted to lay eyes on you, the man who's going to trigger the war I'll be joining. Hancock said randomly, but in reality, she wanted to confirm the condition of the brother of the man she loved. So even the immovable Empress is helping the government now. Is your Shichibukai title that important to you? Jinbei asked with concern. These prisoners are disgusting. This is unacceptable. They are harassing Hancock-chan. At the O'Hara art store, Belmire was extremely angry while reading manga, and the reason was the disgusting impel-down prisoners. Fufu, perhaps Hancock should turn them into stone statues to decorate their cells. It would be an interesting sight, but it's unfortunate that she's restrained by the Kairoseki handcuffs and can't unleash her power, added Shaki, who had a creepy smile. It seems Hancock doesn't care. She's used to it for a long time, said Gloriosa with a smile. Do you think she will try to save Ace for Luffy? Melona asked with keen interest, holding her baby Perona in her hands. I don't think so. Chief Warden Magellan is there. It's impossible for her to rescue Ace even if she wanted to, sighed Matri sadly. These rogue prisoners. Why do they keep interrupting their conversation? It seems Jinbei is bothered by Hancock's situation. He doesn't know the truth yet. Ha ha ha. Is she mocking them all? Even Magellan fell under her charm. Kia, how beautiful she is. I, too, am enchanted by her charm. Seeing how Hancock acted as if she were afraid, hearts appeared in the eyes of all the readers at that moment. They were even affected by her power through the manga. Outside the art store. Is this really good? I mean, she's our daughter too, Alvia said while holding onto Rob's chest. Even if they were outside the art store at this moment, they could hear the commotion caused by the readers, and the reason was Hancock once again. Beauty is not a crime, infatuation is not a crime either, dirty infatuation is the crime. Don't worry, these dirty rogues will receive their punishment in moments. Just as Rob said, Magellan revealed his poisonous hydra, ready to make them taste the poisonous torment. By showing his power, he deterred all the unruly prisoners. After the prisoners learned their lesson, Magellan said to Hancock, "Now, Lady Hancock, you can have your conversation in peace." "No need, I'm done." But to his surprise, Hancock had already finished. "Hey! Is what you said true?" Even Ace couldn't believe what he heard from her. "I have no reason to lie." "Oh yes." And he was worried that you would be mad at him. Hancock left after saying everything she had to Ace. "What did she say?" Magellan asked Hannibal, who replied, "I don't know. I was super running away from you, Chief Warden." Inside the cell, Jinbei looked towards Ace and asked, "Ace, what did that woman say?" Ace was still shocked by what he had just heard. "My brother is here." Jinbei was shocked after hearing that. "The one you're always talking about. The Strawhat kid. That's reckless." Finally, Ace knew that his brother was there for him. Yes, Hancock did a great job informing him. But he has another reason to worry and feel guilty for him. Ace feels extreme sadness in this ordeal. "Do you mean that Luffy will be an additional reason for even more sorrow? And do you think that as an older brother, he won't be concerned that something might happen to his brother because of him?" "That's true, we also feel the same thing." Both Alvia and Rob looked at the newcomers. Surprisingly, they were Roger and Rouge. The couple sat on the public seats next to them. In this quiet and peaceful place, two small families gathered. "Captain, I haven't seen you in a while, and you too, Rouge-san." Rob smiled at the couple. "We've been looking for you, it's easy to lose track of your paths, Waha. Fishman Island." After Rob's sudden visit and departure, Susan adjusted her clothes and returned to the artistic store's bar, as if nothing had happened. Her gaze fell on both Jinbei and the mischievous boy, Frankie, who were enjoying a drink and conversation. "It seems Ace told you about Luffy, Jinbei-san," Frankie said with a smile. "Well, it seems so," Jinbei replied. "Maybe he kept bragging about his little brother. After all, there's nothing to do to neutralize the boredom in this cell except talk a lot," he added. "That's true." "Oh, is that Zoro?" Frankie's eyes widened when he saw Zoro's face welcoming the shocked Luffy deep on the third floor. "I don't think so." Jinbei's eyes widened for a moment, but then he understood what was going on. Chapter 639, Mr. 2, On Place joins. Sigh for a moment, I thought he was really Zoro. That fool Mr. 2. I miss the crew members. I wonder what they're doing now. Well, Sanji might still be running to save his life. Ha 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 ha. Wah ha ha ha. I remembered Sanji's ordeal. Sha ha ha ha. In the East Blue, right at the Baratai restaurant, the chefs were also enjoying the One Piece manga. Every time they remembered Sanji's ordeal, their laughter became contagious, spreading to customers eating or waiting for their food. Suddenly, special guests arrived, and a suffocating silence fell upon the restaurant upon seeing the four guests, two men, and their wives. Zeph stopped what he was doing, calmly walked towards the four individuals, and bowed like a nobleman. "From here, ladies and gentlemen." Zeph led them to a beautiful table, behaving like a respectful waiter. "Thank you, Zeph," Rob thanked with a smile after they sat. Zeph nodded with a smile and left for the kitchen to prepare what the esteemed guests had requested. Seeing the Pirate King and the Hunter King together in such a place made the guests think they were dreaming. Eating while talking about manga will be more enjoyable, don't you think? It's already lunchtime. Rob said with a smile. What a great idea, dining in this restaurant. It's my first time, I've heard about its opening already. Roger replied with a smile. As for Alvia and Rouge, they simply smiled. Traveling from place to place in an instant, it's still surreal for me. Has the world government discovered this ability of yours or not yet? Roger asked in a low voice. They were in the New World just a moment ago before deciding to visit O'Hara in the West Blue. It was easy for them as Roger had an art store on his ship. From there, they moved to O'Hara and met Rob, who offered them a meal in the East Blue. From the art store, they moved to the seafood restaurant that had a small art store on its back, just like Roger's ship. So, of course, it would be surreal no matter how many times they experienced it. Well, they already know. You may not believe it, but they have a similar ability, though on a smaller scale. Rob replied in a low voice as well. While chatting, Rob's gaze fell on a boy reading manga with tears of happiness in his eyes. No one could recognize him, but Rob could easily identify a character from the manga no matter how young he was. This 10-year-old boy was probably Mr. 2 Bonclay in the future. Chapter 530's Events. Long time no see. Strawchan. Mr. 2 cried tears of joy at seeing Luffy again. Bonchan. I'm a little disappointed that it's not Zoro. But you're still alive. Luffy smiled happily, despite his disappointment at not being Zoro. Out of my way. What the hell are you doing to my friend? Mr. 2 violently attacked the guards, knocking them all down. Seeing this, Seldeth urged the giant lion to attack. Come on, Sphinx. Counter-attack. All right. That should keep him down for now. Luffy stood on a mound of massive bumps that formed on Sphinx's head after easily defeating him in alliance with Mr. 2. You gotta keep beasts down with force. Gahaha. Meanwhile, Mr. 2 was dancing on Sphinx's back. Sphinx! Seldeth exclaimed, almost fainting from shock. Now there's another escapee. Are these guys going down so they can get more allies, he wondered. Luffy and Mr. 2 embraced each other like long-lost friends who hadn't seen each other in a long time. Hey, Bonchan, I thought you died. You took our place back then. Luffy hadn't forgotten what Bonchan did for them at that time. Gahaha. Don't joke around. Okama don't die, you know. Is that true? Mr. 2 Bonclay's ability explanation, the main fruit, a copy man. If he touches somebody's face with his right hand, he can copy their appearance at any time, the left hand changes back. Blue Guri. You absolutely can't let them get away. Seldeth ordered as a crowd of blue gorillas surrounded both Luffy and Bonclay. By the way, Strawchan, are you really planning on going to level 5? Bonclay asked with curiosity, having heard it from Mr. 3 and Buggy who freed him. That's right. Will you tell me how to get there? Luffy replied immediately. There's actually someone I want to see on level 5 too. Mr. 2 said. Really? Luffy exclaimed with joy. Well then, let's go together. This is wonderful. I can't believe I'll be helping Luffy-san again in the manga. The boy with short hair was happy to see the progress of the current events to the point of tears. He was just a natural boy, not yet an Okama at his current age. He still had a family, and with the disappearance of pirates and mafia gangs from the Four Seas, life for most ordinary people gradually became stable. So, he didn't lose anyone dear to him, had enough money to travel anywhere in the East Blue, dine at places like the Ocean Jewel restaurant, and read manga here as well. Until now, no one realized that the boy Bentham and Mr. 2 Bonclay are the same person. I am eager to see how my counterpart will help in saving Ace, Luffy-kun's brother. Bentham wiped his tears, suddenly feeling a gaze on him. He shivered involuntarily when he saw that person. Pirate King. Rob-sama, too. He almost thought he was hallucinating. New World. Jaya ha ha ha. I am a genius. Buggy laughed heartily while reading the manga. Why do you think you're a genius? Shanks asked. It's obvious that I'm the one who thought of sending Mr. 2 to help the Strawhat out of his predicament and get a clue to the 5th floor. Buggy said proudly. Maybe you wanted extra help to escape from prison, but after hearing about Luffy, he preferred helping him instead of you, Shanks said mockingly. Buggy froze after hearing that, suddenly starting to sweat. No, that may not be the case. Ha ha ha. We already know who you really are, Buggy. No need to feel embarrassed anymore. Ha ha ha. That's right. Although it's shameful for you to break a promise, everyone knows you'll do it, ha. No need to be embarrassed, no need to be embarrassed, everyone knows you're a big jerk, ha. Buggy's face turned red like his nose after hearing the crew members teasing him for the 1000th time. Chapter 640, Wasn't it enough to be cautious of Hannibal alone? Chapter 532, The Beast Guard Minotauros. We have reason to believe that some prisoners have allied with the intruder Strawhat Luffy. We are currently sharing their information. Prisoner No. E8200, Buggy the Clown. Prisoner number 00464, former Baroque Works agent, Galdino, also known as Mr. 3. Prisoner No. C9915, also a former Baroque Works agent, Bentham, also known as Mr. 2 Bonclay. Currently, Strawhat Luffy and Mr. 2 Bonclay are running free in the N block of level 3. The Blueberry can't stand against them. We believe they're heading to level 4. Zaza. As for the former two, they are. The Danmachi, which was transmitting the news, appeared in the hand of one of the prisoners who returned to their cells after having a bit of fun. Instigating a riot in level 2. Intruders running wild. He, this is getting pretty interesting. This'll kill some time. It's just gonna end with them getting captured. Says one of the prisoners. Level 4, Chief Warden's office. What happened to Cell Death? Magellan asked as he finally listened to the report on the current events. The Blueberry can't stand against Strawhat Luffy and Mr. 2. So he's putting down the riot on level 2. Why didn't anybody report this to me earlier? Exclaimed Magellan. You were busy ogling Lady Hancock, so you ignored the report, replied Hannibal. Has our guest departed, Warden? The preparations for the hunt have been completed. What do we do? Suddenly, Suddy entered Magellan's office. Oh, Suddy-chan, is anyone on level 3? Asked Magellan. The Minotauros is there, she replied. But there's room to run around on level 3. He won't be able to corner them. We'll leave the mess upstairs to Cell Death. Gather all the remaining forces Impel Down can muster here at level 4, announced Magellan. If they escape the Minotauros and fall here to the Inferno Hell, then I will execute them myself. Magellan appeared truly menacing at this moment. They're underestimating the great prison Impel Down. Seeing this new serious side of Magellan finally made the atmosphere in both Impel Down and Marineford calm. In Marineford. Good, finally some seriousness, commented Sengoku with a smile. Yes, fortunately, Magellan knew about Luffy before his arrival on the 4th floor, or else it would have been more than just a joke, said Sakazuki with his usual stern expression. What Sakazuki hates the most is negligence in duty performance. Until now, Magellan had been extremely negligent. Well, we all know that before this day, there was no scenario similar to someone infiltrating the Great Prison. So it's clear that Magellan wouldn't have considered it possible before it actually happened, Orsolino said, breaking his silence, and his words convinced most of the listeners. Manga and the rest of the vice admirals nodded after hearing that. That makes sense for sure. Yes, no one could have anticipated that. Who in the world is crazy enough to infiltrate Impel Down to save a prisoner? Only Luffy could do that. Arara well, Moria did it and almost caused our deaths. Kuzan commented sarcastically. Hearing that made both Sengoku and the others shake their heads in regret. Moria, the fool. I heard he was sentenced to 10 years in prison for infiltrating. Rob really has mercy on the prisoners. The lenient laws of the Hunters Society will come back to bite them later, humph. Sakazuki mocked, always finding an opportunity to mock the hunters. That's not true if we think deeper. The laws of the hunters are more modern, excessive violence may lead to dire consequences. That's what we'll see at the end of this volume. I'm sure that the escape of the wicked prisoners from the prison will be like erupting volcanoes in the seas, demons unleashed upon the world. The consequences may be dire to an unimaginable extent. Author's note, well, the escapees from Impel Down will form at least 2 crews of Yonko after 2 years. Nothing much. Ha ha. Hearing this hypothesis from the man known for his accurate theories made the listeners break into a cold sweat instinctively. Perperupru asterisk. Suddenly, Fleet Admiral's Danmachi rang, making everyone fall silent. Sengoku answered the call, saying, "This is Fleet Admiral Sengoku on the line." Sengoku, there's new information you must know. The Warden Chief of Impel Down has been replaced with a new one. The newcomer in charge of Impel Down is Marshal D. Teach. In Impel Down. Is this woman named Suddy-chan not here? Asked Teach, sitting on the commanding seat with a wicked smile on his face. No, perhaps she hasn't been born yet, Magellan answered with disdain. Why is she still here? Didn't you say you needed to relieve yourself? Zay aha. Teach looked towards Magellan and said mockingly. Magellan trembled with anger, but he composed himself and left. Zay aha. Meanwhile, Saint Warcury had already left Impel Down, leaving the responsibility in his hands after confirming the deal between them. Teach turned his gaze towards Shiryu and laughed before saying, "You must no longer be part of this prison in the manga, no existence for you until now." "That doesn't matter, because I'm still part of this prison now," Shiryu replied coldly. "Perhaps your bad habit of killing prisoners has come back to bite you in the end, don't you think?" Zay aha. Teach laughed evilly. Suddenly, a brilliant idea came to him. "I'm not like Magellan. If you truly follow me, I might overlook your bad habits and allow you to have some fun." Hearing that, a wicked smile appeared on Shiryu's face. In the restroom, Magellan was lamenting his luck. Just what happened? How did this happen? Am I dreaming? Shouldn't I just need to be wary of Hannibal only? Magellan's thoughts were in total confusion, he didn't know what had happened. It happened so quickly and confusingly that he was still perplexed. He lost the position he worked so hard to achieve just like that, becoming a mere deputy commander. The arc isn't over yet. Have mercy on me. That wraps up this part of What If Becoming a Mangaka in One Piece World. Thanks so much for listening. As always, new parts drop every 4 days, so be sure to stay tuned. Quick reminder. The series What If Transmigrated into One Piece and Became a Marine will be going on hold soon, since we're nearly at the end of the story. So now, I need your help picking the next project for the channel. I'm currently deciding between these 3 fanfics. What if creating the strongest Strawhat crew by reading manga? What if a venerated soul reincarnated in Danmachi world? What if transmigrated and taking over Ichigo's body? Please vote in the poll and let me know which story you'd like to see next. I'll take the top pick and start working on that series next. Also check out my Patreon channel for early releases of all the series, where you can find all the series released one day ahead of YouTube. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like, subscribe, share it with your friends, and please consider supporting the original author as well. See you in the next one.